Tonight on AFTERBUZZ TV's NXT After Show, we're going to be looking forward to NXT TakeOver Toronto, as well as looking at the full show that was tonight. We saw the blow-off between Andrade Cien Almas and Cedric Alexander. We're going to be talking about all of that and more next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
As the Ember Moon rises over the AFTERBUZZ TV studios, we're here to talk about NXT. Welcome to the... And we're here to party. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV's NXT After Show. I am one of your hosts, the internet's Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica, joined as always by the full squad. We got the NXT team, the returning one and only true Hobo.
I served my suspension well, with dignity, and I apologize for all of the people that I hurt.
You've hurt a lot of people.
I know. It's part of my job.
This will be a healing time.
Yes.
Yes, and if you want more information on that, you won't get any. Also, Bill Hanstock.
It's going to be a healing time because Hobo's going to heal on all of us.
That's right. 2 E's.
Yeah. This one.
That was a good one.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Bill.
It's good to be back because I didn't go anywhere.
Nope.
Follow me on Twitter at Sundown Motel, and let's get on with the show.
That's not true. You didn't go. You didn't leave. You were here in the state of California, running your little butt off.
You took us
down in Anaheim.
It took us.
You spent the whole weekend doing races.
Yeah, I was running.
You're a racist.
Yeah.
No, he's a racer.
Oh, racer.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And you got some
Well,
sweet
I'm
gold.
a fan of races, so I'm a bit of a racist.
Of all races, creeds, colors, religions.
I think we're going a little bit too deep into this because wrestling.
Wrestling.
It was interesting because we thought that this was just going to be sort of a preview show. That's how it was advertised on the network, and we were just going to get the. I mean, it was technically, but we got
2 matches.
We got
three
matches, including a return.
2 matches.
Oh, a huge return.
A huge return that we were all
huge
looking forward to.
Huge.
Big league return.
We got a big
Return to
return
Bigly.
coming. But our first match of the night had Liv Morgan taking on Peyton Royce. And Liv, the thing about Peyton Royce that I like is she keeps finding new ways to use her legs as an offensive, as offensive as they are.
Well, she's with them quite often.
Some would say-
Rarely the two are separated.
Very rarely. Some would say that she's she's been with them most of her life, if not all.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did y'all think of this match?
Is that true?
What?
That's what I've heard on the dirt sheets.
Oh,
Well,
they've
the
been
dirt
together most
sheets.
of their
Don't
lives.
even. Those
have
are
some-
obviously augmented.
I don't know. We have some friends in Australia. You talk to some folks in Australia. It may or may not be true.
They
This is a
say
joke
she looks
about-
way different.
This is a joke about how everyone in Australia is related.
No, this is.
Yeah.
No, this is-
really tight-knit fam over there, down under. Yeah.
Don't go into the center of the country. It's too hot, and
Sure.
people will die there. But this match, what did y'all think of this match?
I actually was kind of surprised at how hot the match started.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Liv Morgan and Peyton Royce did not spare any time in just trying to club the heck out of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, they started it. It wasn't like they did any sort of introductions with each other. They knew who they really wanted to dance with. They wanted to dance with each other, and they did so.
And they knew that they didn't like one another. Not one bit.
Not one bit.
Not even a smidgen.
I mean, Liv Morgan, she's
Neither a bushel nor a peck.
yeah. No, I'm there with you.
But I will say, Liv didn't give up. Like, there's nothing that Peyton could have done could have extinguished the fire that was Liv Morgan, and it took Billy Kay's interference.
Would you say this fire burns always?
Yeah, but I would also say in this dance, one of them is never going to dance again because Guilty Feet have got no rhythm. But aside from that,
Which one was it gonna be?
Would you say that you should get out of my dreams and into my car?
By force, if necessary.
Oh man,
and
is that how It Follows starts?
Yes.
and we're back on horror movies. What did Billy Kay's interference surprise anybody?
No, it's how this had to
Kidding me?
end,
Yeah.
truly. I was sort of surprised that Liv
your head in the
Morgan
game.
was able to get as much offense as she did. Liv Morgan's really not done much to impress me. But I'll say everything that she did had a lot of sting behind it. All the strikes she did, they were 100%. She was trying to draw blood. She was shooting to kill him there. And those clotheslines she threw, when she finally was able to come back, they were real heavy. Really took Royce right off of her feet.
I think it took Billie Kay and Peyton Royce's like group attack on her to sort of get the fire burning, and now we're starting to see her kick into another gear.
I mean, let's sort of state it as it did happen, because Liv Morgan was the one who hit Billie Kay first. She made initial contact, and then when she got the guillotine in, Billie Kay came in and broke it up. Because that's sort of turnabout. What happened after that? This is unfair. The fact that they double teamed Liv Morgan is unfair.
And then Aaliyah came and made the save. She didn't fare too well either. It took Ember Moon to clear the ring, so we had our three ladies. Well, technically our two ladies standing tall because Aaliyah was still passed out on the outside.
Yeah.
But we found out that all three came together.
Wasn't a great tableau. Oh, look, there's two of them. The third one's dead.
It's super
obviously.
effective. Aaliyah fainted.
Yeah. Aaliyah, that's Aaliyah's the Pokemon you send out to heal your reserve. That's like the strongest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the one that you want to evolve. You're like, that can wait. Let me use a hyper potion on Ember Moon so that she can clear the ring. And that was the end of that segment. There was a lot of looks at TakeOver Toronto. We're gonna wait until the end of the show to do our speculation on how TakeOver Toronto is gonna go. So we're gonna skip those parts during the show. We got, for weeks, we talked about it last week, we talked about it a week,
The return.
the week before, there's just the return.
The return.
There's no hint whatsoever other than Full Sail.
Could it be Dan Matha?
We were, you know what? I had money on Dan Matha.
Man,
You know what I thought it was? I thought it was the Alpha's back in Pog form.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
I had a slammer
But
of Alf.
instead, remember Elias Sampson? He's back in Pog form.
Oh, Elias Sampson. Yes. Okay. All right. It took me a second, but yes, I do remember Elias Sampson.
In pog form.
The Drifter walks again. I thought he had
And
an arm
Pog,
injury.
of course, always stands for pretty awful gimmick.
Ooh.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
It's a joke.
Oh,
That guy is-
OWFUL.
I don't believe for
awful.
1 second he's a drifter.
Awful OFFAL. Like
okay.
discarded waste.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Very good. So we got Elias Sampson back,
Yep.
everybody, and the crowd didn't like
The
it.
crowd went wild.
The crowd went.
The crowd left. They went and
As soon
they
as
bought
he
their
started
shirts.
playing that guitar, man, they were not having any of it.
It sounded
Just
out
not
of
having it at
tune.
all.
You know what my favorite chant for Elias Sampson is?
Huh.
I could go for a hot dog.
Because a lot of people do say it. It's
Yeah.
just they don't get the unison right.
Right. It's just
Yeah.
sort of a.
Yeah.
It's sort of a like. It's like the wave, but of words that just sort of cascades down through the crowd.
I
Hot
felt-
dog. Hot dog. Hot dog.
Hot dog. Peanut me, bro.
Yeah, peanuts.
The peanuts. The thing about Elias Sampson.
It's peanuts.
Thanks, Greg.
Bass player of 311.
Really?
Peanut.
Oh, that's right.
Just
P
like
hyphen
his
NUT.
Peanut?
Peanut.
Yeah.
Does he wear a monocle and a top hat?
No, that's Mr. Peanut.
Doesn't he play bass
That's
for
Peanut's
311?
father. My father was Mr. Peanut.
Does he have
Son of Mr. Peanut?
Does he-
Elijo del Peanut.
Penut?
Penut. Peanut.
I remember somebody was telling me about
Or
how he was living in Mexico and they would say English words but in Spanish. So instead of pause, it was pause.
Mr. Peanut told you that?
Peanut.
Yes, Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut told me. I was gonna make another peanut joke, but let's skip it because we're running out of time. We just started. But I want to have a proper conversation about Elias Sampson. We rag on him a lot. We don't necessarily understand certain parts about the character, and the whole vagabond traveler persona is something that
It's so played out.
some may say is a little bit overdone, drawn out, played out. But
He should just his gimmick should shift, and he should just be his gimmick should be he's the subject of the song "The Joker" by the Steve Miller Band.
so he should become the Joker.
He's a toker, he's a smoker. It's midnight.
No, it's Midnight Toker.
He's midnight.
He's a joker.
Smoker.
Poker player.
Midnight
Toker.
toker.
Yeah.
Playing his music on the run. That's all I know.
Yeah.
He loves your peaches, and he's gonna shake your tree. Watch out! Watch out, you wrestlers with peaches.
Wow.
Peach emoji.
Let's be
It's a bud.
let's be constructive about Elias Sampson because
I am. I'm
a lot
telling
of
him he should be a Steve Miller wrestler.
a lot of his offense
And then
tonight.
he can fly.
We
then
have
he
a
can-
Prince wrestler.
Yeah,
We're gonna have a
exactly,
Steve Miller
yeah.
wrestler.
And then he can fly like an eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah. To the sea.
to this, yep.
They're in Florida.
It's,
It
it's
wouldn't
right
be that
there.
far. Not be that far, really.
So tonight, despite the crowd having heavy chants for Nathan Cruz, his opponent,
Hey, Nate
Apollo
Cruz.
Cruz's
Nate Cruz.
brother.
Yes,
Cousin.
brother.
Nate-
Everyone, it's Nathan Cruz. Dun,
Nate
dun,
Cruz
dun,
could
dun,
be from
dun,
South Africa.
dun, dun, dun,
No, but
dun,
why can't they be brothers?
ba, 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 ba. Yeah, that's pretty close-minded.
Because-
Are you one of them
One of
racers?
them's bald.
Ah, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's the hairline.
Well, it's just like how Fozzie and Kermit are related. You can't tell because he's wearing his hat.
That's true.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, that makes sense. Total sense. His offense tonight, he's changed up what we've seen from him in the past. He still does the running knee, but now he does it, to somebody hanging off the apron. He's using a version of the spinning neck breakers kind of crossroads.
Right.
And I think he landed it really well. I think
looked
it
okay.
hit pretty home pretty well. But
Which is ironic
don't you think? It's like right. But sorry.
because he doesn't have a home.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I believe that he doesn't have a home.
Look,
I
he's
think
a
he has
drifter, right? I've seen this guy around the Performance Center, and let me tell you.
He has a shiny shirt.
Yeah, he was wearing a real like a Ed
Like-
Hardy.
It was discarded by Chris Jericho in the 2000s.
Oh.
Is that it? Oh.
Yeah.
This is the Save Me era Chris Jericho. Oh no, that was debut. What year is it? And
I don't know.
the problem is the problem with my mind is Chris Jericho's still wrestling, so it's like that never stopped
Yeah, it's been 17 years.
since 1999.
Since Y2J.
Yeah.
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 Stupid idiot.
Stupid idiots.
You know what?
Oh, I thought you were going to take your mug and drink it in, man.
You just made the list. This is Bill.
Oh,
There.
doesn't take long to write. That's good.
No, it's Bill. There you go. You're on. I mean, I took his paper, but it's my list, just so there's no confusion.
I made a list.
Buffalo.
That's important.
I hope you're not
Tatanka.
Buffalo Bill.
Tatanka Bill.
Tatanko Bill.
Tatanka Bell.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
And gets a Crunchwrap Supreme.
Would you wrestle me? I'd wrestle me. I'd wrestle me hard.
I'd wrestle me stiff. So
Get hard all day, all night.
should call the doctor about that. So Elias Sampson.
No tangents on this show.
None whatsoever.
So,
Straight and narrow,
We
right
gotta-
down the middle.
we
I call
keep
it right
it
down the middle.
together.
Hyper professional. It's hard having guests on the show. Actually, no, Pete was great.
Yeah,
you
no,
missed
Pete
Pete,
was-
but Peter was.
Oh, yeah.
Peter was great.
Yeah, hook up with Pete.
It's pretty good.
Pistol Pete.
I actually heard his theme song across the street when I was getting food. It was pretty weird, but or maybe the PP Ray one, whatever. Where do we see what do we see Elias Sampson doing? Because is he
saw it.
Some more of this.
so he's just going to be beating up enhancement folk until they find a place for him?
I don't.
Because that's the thing is I don't see him healing it up with some of the other guys.
He's not distinguished, really. Like, he does the guitar thing, but nothing else he does says Elias Sampson. That's it.
Honestly, at this point, I think there's more of a home for him on the main roster than there is in NXT. And I don't really see a very big home for him on the main. But it's just like, like his first few matches after Nakamura debuted, he was like getting obliterated by Nakamura. So it's like,
And then he got injured.
yeah, but it's like, what's he gonna build up to? Like his first matches of this new era of Elias Sampson, were like getting completely destroyed by the guy who's the top guy now. So it's like, what can he build up to? Can he? I mean, he could form a new tag team.
Yeah, he's just a couple weeks too late. Maybe he could have taken part in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team
Maybe he
Classic.
can get jumped into Sanity.
That would be good. Yeah.
Elias Sanity.
But they've already got a solid group of 4. They got a tag team, they got a female wrestler, and they got a leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they can have a minstrel.
What they need is a cruiserweight guy.
Like Elias Sampson.
No, like me. I'm right here. I will join sanity and I will kill people. I assume that's what you do in your off time.
So you're like, you're how many cans of beans are you these days?
205. South of 205.
Are you live?
Am I live?
Yeah.
Yes.
I like how you used your thumb first. Appreciate it.
I don't know how to take my pulse. Clearly,
you might
not a doctor.
I gotta take my pulse.
I'm a hobo, not a doctor. Clearly,
Damn it, Jim.
you might be dead. Who knows if you don't know how to take your pulse?
Brain dead, at least.
Either this man is dead or my watch has stopped.
That's one of my favorite lines. We really do hope the best for Elias Sampson right now.
Yeah, we just want him to do something.
Yeah,
Right.
He's got big shoes to fill. Right now, they're still kind of bringing folks in from
he
Evolve.
only has to use whatever shoes he finds.
That's the thing. Is he needs to find a new pair of shoes.
Yeah.
That's why he could have entered the Dusty Rhodes Classic, took the silver boots out of the trophy.
Oh
Man, how amazing would that be if he just starts clunking down to the ring in the sword?
Donk.
I found these boots backstage.
And he starts, nobody gets like real inspired, turns into like a rhinestone cowboy, writing Dolly Parton type stuff. Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know what that meant, Bill, except I knew exactly what that meant. In the back.
He was clapping. He just missed his hand.
Ah, that's what it was.
It's also signed for a lariat. That's what that is.
Lariato. Apologies to our audio listeners who just meat slapping.
Meat slapping.
It's a whole bunch of meat slapping.
Usually that happens much later in the show.
Yeah, usually that happens. That's the post show, and the pre show, and during the show. Actually, that's a good point, Bill.
I go hard.
Stay tuned for our new segment, Meat Slapping with the NX team. In the back,
with the Beef Boys.
the Beef Boys.
Beef Boys, get to meat slapping.
We've got Aaliyah, Liv Morgan, and Ember Moon in the back. They're talking about how they're not going to let Billy and Peyton decide the fate of the women's division.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game, and they're up 3-2.
Yeah.
They challenged the Aussies to a 6-woman tag, provided they could find a third. And Liv Morgan was particularly on fire.
She was. Would you say she was livid?
No.
Oh.
No, she wasn't mad.
Oh.
She's actually pretty confident.
Just live vibes.
Yeah. Just solid live
vibes.
You know how she's living.
Morgan.
Is she here? It's like a Beetlejuice moment. Liv Morgan. Oh! She walks by in the background. We're already up to our main event. Big surprise. Andrade Cien Almas versus Cedric Alexander. This is supposed to be the culmination of their feud that started at the Dusty Rhodes Tag, the round one of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
Wound run.
Wound run.
I'm a little wound one myself. But
round rum is what's in your mug there.
It was gone before I could pour any in my cup. But don't worry about it. It's not like we have any here at the studio.
You didn't tell me this before now.
This episode of NXT After Show
is actually sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka.
Oh, yeah.
It's not.
You ever milk a potato?
It
Could be. Should play your cards right, Tito's.
Thanks, Bill.
Tito's Santana's vodka.
Arriba.
Arriba.
That Chico Santana, I tell you what. He makes a delicious vodka, is my point.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm half drunk on Chico's handmade vodka right now, Monsoon.
Shout out to Josh, our engineer, who's
I'm one and
probably
a half
really
sheets
confused.
to the wind. Give me some time. I'll get to 3. I ain't got time to 3.
Damn it! You brought it all the way back around. So we finally got to see Andrade Cien Almas's true colors, sort of shaded.
But with black on top.
Yeah, he was like Hobo was making the point.
Oreo, you gotta twist off his pants to get to the cream-filled center. Wait.
No, he has a point. He's not wrong.
It's not the size of the pants in the fight.
Is there a gas leak in here?
Yes.
Don't say that around Hobo.
So what did we think first before we get to the match itself about Cien Almas's change, about his turn to the dark pants / white pants side?
I don't know. I didn't see. I don't know. It was odd. You know, he didn't want to engage at first, and Cedric tried to look like he was really trying to get into Almas's space, but it just didn't seem to work. Almas was backing off, and the only times I really felt like Almas was in it was when he didn't go for his finish. At one point he had the opportunity to go for the double knee. Cedric down in the corner. He revved up, ran right up to him, and slapped the taste out of his mouth. But it's such a silly thing to do. You have your opponent in a place where you might be able to lower the death blow, and you just decide to slap him?
Well, that's where the pride goeth before the fall. That's where hubris comes in, because he cared more in that moment about making Cedric look stupid and insulting him than about going for the coup de grace, if you will.
No, I agree. Like, he had the opportunity. He felt like he had enough of a full head of steam to just insult the kid.
Yeah, you kid.
Yeah.
You dumb idiot.
I think it would have been more impressive if Alexander got out of the way, but then Almas then just slapped him in the face.
I think Cedric Alexander is our new Sami Zayn.
Maybe.
Because Sami Zayn is ultimate underdog.
Very good underdog. Yeah.
And especially with his origins in the Cruiserweight Classic of coming out of a huge match as the loser, but having such a huge ovation where people wanted to see more of him instantly. That guy deserves a win. Yeah. And we've not really seen too much of that version of Cedric Alexander. And I wonder who this match was more for. That's what I wonder.
I'm just excited that Almas is a heel now. He's clearly having a lot more fun with it. He's clearly more comfortable doing this role, and the crowd's finally free to react to him like he.
But what's his role? How did he establish his heel self tonight? He didn't do anything in the match that was particularly heelish. You look at the way he was able to get control off of Alexander with a well-placed drop kick. It wasn't as if he was able to scout him and do something very manipulative and underhanded to get his actual flow going. He outperformed Alexander. He doesn't look like a bad guy because he hits a beautiful freaking drop kick.
I disagree with that. I think he used the ropes a lot. We saw him with the posing, taunting him, and then 2, maybe even 3 times during the match, he ran to the ropes to hide behind to get the clean break so that he could spring onto Cedric when he was ready. Which some might argue is a smarter move, which I would agree is a smart move to use the ropes to your advantage. But then he started using them physically.
He didn't feel like he got the advantage. He went to the ropes, backed off, wait for the referee to get Alexander off of him, and then they basically tied up. Where's the advantage?
Okay, that's true.
There was no advantage taken. He would back off, and then he would just go back and wrestle. It's like every thought in his head was half-cocked. Nothing was fully functional. He didn't wrestle like a guy with a game plan. He came in and was like, well, I'm going to do this. And then what? Nothing had a fully formed idea.
It was like a dog chasing cars.
There. Yeah, really. It didn't flow. And because of that, the audience wasn't there. They just weren't there tonight.
Yeah.
That was freaking crickets. It had its moments. The match had its moments, but it just wasn't there. The audience wasn't there. Alexander sold a heck of a lot because he got punishment put on him. But Almas wasn't... He was cheeky, but he wasn't dastardly.
Is there something... And I want both of y'all's opinion on this. Is there something in the wrestling world that could be being too focused, where you're trying so hard to come out on top against this guy who had wronged you, and both of these guys had that feeling. But do you think that there is a mindset of being so focused that you underperform, that you think too much about it and you can't just be there?
Because you're trying to take too much into account, which limits your ability to focus on the here and now. Right. Then you start thinking of this big picture, and it gets distorted. It just gets blurry the more you look at this whole thing. Focus on each moment as it presents itself and concentrate on the moment you have to truly be the best in the moment. Overall, it'll come together, but it's a step-by-step process. You can't simply go, I'm going to hear all the steps, and I have to look at all the steps together. You got to look at them one at a time, and then it'll come together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you mentioned that while on the whole this may not have connected to the crowd or necessarily the audience, we want to know what you think about the match. Let us know in the live comments right now, or if you're watching this after we're live, please leave a comment down below, or in our iTunes reviews, please. We want to know what you think about this feud, about our show, about everything coming up. We got Takeover coming up.
Here's another thought I have regarding CN and how he's operating right now. Bobby Roode does it better. Bobby Roode's basically doing the exact same thing.
Sure.
He does the taunt, he does the pose, underhanded stuff, but Bobby Roode does it better.
Bobby is he's a different class. Some would say he's more experienced.
Certainly is.
Yeah. Really quickly, speaking of the chat, Xenohour has an idea saying Aries and Strong form a faction with CN, and it can be a world's elite group. I think he needs a strong American veteran to help his transition further into the American style.
Yeah. He needs somebody to really, grab the reins and show him how to be smarter. You can be stronger than somebody, you can be faster than somebody, or you can be smarter than somebody. And CN, I think, is too busy trying to look stronger and faster that he's not worried about being smart.
I think Bill's got an idea.
Yes.
Team him up with Bo Dallas,
Okay.
and their team can be CN is Believin'.
You got so excited. You were so excited, and you're rightfully so. I'm very excited for the chat to catch up on that one. CN is Believin'.
Because they both wear white. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm behind this. This is one of your better ideas.
That's really good. Oh God. Actually, it's kind of involves one of the pieces of news that we're going to get to in a moment. But so I'm going to wait to comment on the same question. But at the end of this match, we had CN playing to the crowd. It seemed a little bit to encourage them to clap along as he hit his knees.
He was just indicating that the knees were coming.
Okay.
He was trying to wake up his quads.
Yeah, that's it.
God, wake up quads!
Getting a little stiff.
Quads!
Getting a little stiff. So Almas misses the knees. We got a lumbar check, and then Almas sticks on the ropes, avoids the pin.
Smart, he was able to really ride the momentum of the lumbar check to the ropes, really making sure that he couldn't be pinned right away, or else he may have lost it just there.
Well, because he sends them flying. That's one of the things about the lumbar check is they go.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if one year we see that eliminate somebody from the Royal Rumble.
That'd be so.
like Kofi, and then
Boing.
right out.
He's gonna lumbar check Lindsay Torado right on the top of his goddamn head. And
It's like
Torato's gonna do like a.
that wasn't very
630.
nice.
Yeah.
I
really did a number on my neck, fella.
He's like Butters of the Cruiserweight division.
I'm Lindsay Dorado.
Chat finally caught up with that amazing pun, and we got Bill just no, boo boo just no. LOL from Tina Keys, damn it Bill from AJ, Bill wins from Optimus Provost, as you know our Bill wins, and Ron Corleone, it's like Bill cranks the Kathy Kelly puns and cranks it up to 1 billion.
I can only hope to be a fraction of the pun master that Kathy is and remains.
She's a shining beacon for all of us.
She plays a different game. It's just
Yeah,
cerebral.
I'm playing pun checkers and she's playing pun chess.
True.
There you go.
We should get Ron Punchess on the show.
He's been here. We can get him back. He did X-Pac a couple weeks ago.
let's do it,
He was
yeah.
great.
Oh.
Yeah. Go watch that show if you haven't yet.
good.
After this one. And I'll talk more about X-Pac near the end of the show. So that was our show.
That was our show. Bye, everybody.
Good
That
night.
was a show you can bet on. Back to you, Mark.
Thanks, Bill. Before we get to Takeover Toronto,
Got my stuff in.
that's very good.
We didn't cover the end of the match.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well,
More
okay.
tag and then
It
a
was a
hammerlock
lumbar
DDT.
He hits the ropes. He gets his package DDT for the win.
right.
No. Oh, yeah, hammerlock DDT.
I mean, but he folded up a whole bunch of other stuff.
Hammerlock inverted Russian leg sweep DDT.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Maybe we call it El Perfecto Cien. The perfect 100.
I don't think he's gonna.
And
call
that's
it
a
that.
finishing move name you can bet on. Mark, thanks
Thanks,
Mark. Damn it. Perfect. For real quick, let's hit some
Finishing
news.
move. That's finishing move.
Gossip.
So
News
recently,
and gossip.
Kevin Nash was on a podcast and talked about how HBK is now in charge of the Performance Center.
But he was mistaken.
To which Triple H
How
was
many
on a.
bottles of wine had he had at that point?
Probably just like the standard
hey, Sean,
4.5.
We can ask Sean.
Yeah.
He's outside.
Well, that's Sean.
But Triple H clarified on the conference call about NXT TakeOver this past week, saying that his role has not been defined yet. But he did say if there is one role he could pick for Sean to do, it will be to help polish the talent that's already one step away from being a star. So that if there's somebody that could help Andrade
I know
Almas,
whose job he's gonna get.
do you?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Exclusive.
But that it's like if he could have a position. That's not
Right.
to say that Triple H is replacing anybody, but I think he could be somebody who could help Andrade Almas.
I mean, sure.
Here's somebody who's already on TV, but
Because
he needs that
there
extra
are a
bit.
lot of parallels. I mean, very physically gifted, but also a heel. And he needs to figure out how to work the dynamic of being physically gifted and a jerk at the same time. And who better than Shawn Michaels to really polish that one up?
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
That's just what I was thinking.
So
Exactly.
HBK can become the Jose Lothario to Cien Almas.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Did you get the call back?
No.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about TakeOver Toronto. So really quickly, and I know it's not Lindsay Dorado, but I want to hear Lindsay Dorado again. So right now we're working on a special schedule to give NXT TakeOver Toronto its own after show. We're looking to schedule it on Sunday. We have no official time yet, but please follow us all. We're going to be using the hashtag NXTeam to make an official announcement. Let us know. Let us know. We will let you know, so please stay tuned.
You ain't telling us nothing.
Actually, really, before we get into Toronto, Optimus Provost asks, can HBK, and I did say HBK, can HBK save Elias Sampson? Moving on to TakeOver Toronto.
I don't want to discount anything. Yeah, I think it's possible, but I don't know. I don't know how much. I don't know.
Elias. I think I'm homeless.
I know I'm bearded.
I know I'm homeless.
I've got the scarves.
That drives Chris Jericho wild.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to...
That's who he should team with.
Oh, Scarf Bros.
Be his young scarf boy.
Scarf Boy Elias
He
Sampson.
can play guitar on his albums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His Fozzy album.
Yeah.
Elias Sampson, new band member of Fozzy.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right,
I've seen worse angles.
I'll give it a chance.
Like the real Double J.
Like the real
Yes.
Double
With
J.
my baby tonight.
Let's not talk about Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Let's.
Thank you for clarifying which Double J.
Yeah.
we were
Yeah, not
talking
Jonah
about.
Jameson. Oh,
We
that's,
can talk about her.
that's
That's J. Jonah
J.
Jameson.
Jonah Jameson from Spiderman.
My friend Abel Spiderman.
Jonas Spiderman. TakeOver Toronto. Let's talk about our
He
non-title
lives near Broadway.
Broadway. Let's talk about our non-title matches first. We got Bobby Roode versus Ty Dillinger. We got to learn a little bit more about Ty Dillinger tonight in the video package, that he was a part of the rebirth of ECW, suffered 3 losses, and then was let go of the company.
Let go of the company.
Let go
go
from the company.
Let go.
He was let go of the company.
No, it
which
was-
is
he
how
was
they
all
say
like-
that in Canada.
No, he was all like,
Yeah.
and then he let go.
Very nice.
Thank you.
We need more sight gags.
It's for our audio listeners.
It's good for the
Yeah.
podcast.
I listen to so many podcasts, and when they go, "Hey, look at this," I'm like, "Come on, what are you doing for the audio?"
What podcast? Hey, look at this. Zip.
Look at that guy. He looks like a guy.
I listen to Meat Boy Weekly, but we learned
It's all that meat slapping from the Beef Boys.
Beef Boys. Excuse me.
Callback.
So Ty Dillinger has been on this journey back to the WWE, and he's starting to really get the ball rolling. And Bobby Roode, who has spent all of this time making an international name for himself, these two are on the, if you'll excuse the phrase, the perfect collision course.
It really does seem like they started from the same place and they could not have diverged further from each other. It's like in being with each other, they sort of found what they like and don't like about each other. What
like
they like
Titanic.
about themselves.
It's like Titanic.
Yeah.
How does everybody see this match going? I mean,
It'll be a lot of fun.
it's gonna be
We got a taste of that.
great.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fantastic 10.
I mean, we got a taste of that at Bakersfield.
Yeah.
How's what? Just in how they were showboating?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were definitely there.
They were definitely there.
They were.
A review.
There's proof.
Oh, we haven't talked about Bakersfield on the show yet.
At all?
A little bit
Oh, that
here and there, because you haven't been here.
Austin Aries eyeball. That is one unfortunate injury.
Yeah, a friend of mine at the LA show says, I didn't look that bad. I was like, then you didn't see it.
That was the other eye.
Yeah, that was his good eye. That wasn't that bad. And like, no, not at all.
The one that was basically bleeding in front of us. Yeah.
Who do y'all see coming out of this match with the W?
I'd like to see Ty Dillinger, because now I've always been rooting for him. We've always liked him on the show, and
Yeah.
now it's kind of like, well, Bobby Roode is such a jerk. I just want to see Ty Dillinger finally get a really high and substantial win.
He needs a big showcase win and a big match, but I think that there's enough juice in this feud that it could go one more. So maybe Royal Rumble weekend is when Ty gets the win, and I don't know if they're doing Takeover then.
Presumably, because they're trying to make the big four.
But I do think that there's enough bad blood in this that you could have Rude cheat to win here, and then get a stipulation match for the next one.
As
Canadian flag match or
Canadian flag on a pole,
Canadian
match.
strap match.
where it's just red, white, and covered in maple syrup.
No, it's just very
Or it's moose leather.
no, it's just very barely cooked bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so it's
Just
rubbery and
slapping a guy with raw
yeah.
pork.
Yeah. I mean, you've
the
been there,
Canadian
right?
one.
Oh, I'm doing a lot of things for money, but I don't know.
And that's the end of that statement. I've done a lot of things.
Go
for money.
hard.
I go hard.
I agree with you, Bill. I think that I agree that Ty could use a big win.
Not Matthews.
Yes, not Matthew. Excuse me.
Dillinger.
Yeah, Dillinger. Not the. Never mind. I'm not going to say that because it's a trigger
Don't
warning.
talk to him here.
Yeah.
Don't talk about him on this show.
Yeah,
This is my show.
He's
this
a
is the
positive
friendship
mental
show.
a-hole as far as I'm concerned.
That's right. We're coming for you, Matthews.
More about that. Download Fight TV. I as much as I would love to see Ty Dillinger.
FightTV.app. That's FightTV.
FightTV.app. Thanks, Bill.
.baps.
Baps.
Baps starring Holly Berry.
Woo! Oh, Meat Boys. You. Beef Boys. I keep getting it wrong.
Meat beef.
Meat beef. Hello, beef.
Oh, hi. Pleased to meet you.
See what I'm
Please,
confused.
please. My father's beef.
No, my father is Mr. Meat. It's Meat Men and Beef Boys.
You can call me Ribeye.
Ever met my brother Porterhouse? Hey, how's it going? Have you met my brother that says Dorado?
Oh, hi guys. How's it going?
I'm straight up
I'm part of the meat family.
Why is Droopy a beef boy? It's Porterhouse.
You're supposed to belong.
It's Porterhouse.
Otis Dozovic. That's how he sounds, probably.
Probably that's what
I mean,
Dozer sounds.
Hey, everybody, I'm Otis Dozovic.
That's why Tucker has to do the talking.
Don't mind my singlet. Just trying to be the best beef boy I can be.
I can beef. As much as I want Ty Dillinger, as much as I want
Beef all
Ty...
you can beef.
with Dozer and Knight.
Yeah.
As much as I want Ty Dillinger to pick up the win, I agree. I think this feud can continue, and Bobby Roode's going to use some chicanery.
Chicanery. That's
in order
we've only talked about one match.
Yeah, that's true.
Woo!
All right.
Yep.
Baps.
We've got the... Damn it.
The Dusty Classic.
The Dusty Classic. We've got the Office of Pain versus TM61 with Paul Ellering banned from ringside.
And Wingside.
And Wingside.
And
no,
Wingstop.
actually, you know what? He's gonna...
You get your authors of pain out of this wing stuff.
Yeah.
Stop eating all the wings.
Oh, man.
That's what happens when it's like 50
I'd be
Cent
so
Tuesday.
bummed if I went into a Wingstop and I saw Authors of Pain in line ahead of me. I'd be like, I really wanted Wingstop.
They're gonna take all of the cream soda and IBC root beer.
Attention, everyone. We're out of wings. No wings.
No
86 wings. If you want a yeast roll, we got
Want
that.
a yeast roll? You want some fries? Maybe we can help you out.
Zucchini sticks.
Got some fresh zucchini.
Bikini sticks.
Bikini sticks.
And we're back on Baps. Speaking of, not speaking of Baps, so we've talked a lot in recent weeks about how injuries may have prevented the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic from ending the way maybe it was originally scheduled to. Card subject to change. But now we have the Authors of Pain versus TM61 with an opportunity to really steal the show. I mean, they have to go up against 3 falls.
Their first match against each other was one of my favorite matches of the year.
Absolutely.
So
real good.
I'm very,
Oh.
very excited to see this match.
TM61 got the loss in that
Yep.
match, though. So it's hard to say that history is not going to repeat itself, but from every loss, there was something to be learned.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope TM61 took the opportunity when they lost to go back, watch the tape, and try and figure out how Authors of Pain can be beaten, because they can be, though it's really daunting because they're really big.
Yeah, it's hard to see at this point how anyone could be Authors of Pain, but I'm not ruling out, perhaps TM61 gets the win by countout, or perhaps the Authors of Pain get a little bit overzealous and Paul Ellering gives one of them a chair or something. I'm not ruling
Sneaks out.
Yeah.
Or maybe Paul Ellering costs them the match by showing up.
Right.
Maybe.
The referee's like, there's a creepy old guy out there, ring the bell!
Well, no, because since he's banned from ringside, if he comes out,
Oh, he's
that could
banned
be-
from ringside?
That's what I saw several sources saying that he was banned from ringside, and we saw a little bit in the video package. But TM61 last week, they got the win in the semifinals with a roll up.
They did.
So they're wily. They're not coyotes.
Never count out a flash victory. Sometimes you can get lucky and catch the right guy at the right time.
And they've had a very interesting journey as well, because they're one of 2 teams that had to compete in a singles match in a tag team tournament.
Right.
For goodness sake.
Blatant nepotism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because one of the guys from TM61 is Roderick Strong's dad.
What?
That's
Nick Miller, the new girl.
And the crowd go.
I'm all sorts of lost.
I love that show. Our next match is the 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT tag team titles between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, #DIY, versus The Revival. These men have put on hell of a lot of great matches. And the fact that we got a bit of a cop-out helped sort of build up the anticipation for this one a little bit more. How do we see this one going?
My prediction for this match
Yeah.
is that it's going to go 3 falls.
I think
2
so too.
won't be enough. I need
The
3,
full
referee.
Really?
Yeah. That's what they call it, Broadway.
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 I don't know. I have to imagine, after all of this build-up, that DIY has to be angrier than they've ever been. I mean, they do a really great job in that ring, but I think they've got to meet the Revival head on. I mean, really bring it to them, and I think they may crumble. I don't know. It's hard because it's a game that Revival plays so well. They are tag team wrestling, and to a greater extent, Ciampa and Gargano are still singles wrestlers. Sometimes they do tandem things, but they are very much singles wrestlers. So how can two singles wrestlers beat a tag team? I mean, a real tag team. They've held the championships for how long now?
But also twice.
Right.
They're the only team that has held them twice.
I mean,
collectively, a while.
It's got to be maybe a year in total.
Really quickly, going back to the Dusty Rhodes finals, a couple folks in chat are saying that TM61 wanted Paul Ellering in a cage.
Oh yeah.
And he might be. I don't think he'll be.
Shark cage.
I don't think he'll be hanging above the ring, but he'll be ringside in a cage, because that's a little too old school. I don't care where you are.
I think that might speak a little bit towards TM61 being in their own heads a little bit too much and like taking their eye off the ball a little bit, because it's like, yeah, sure, we gotta face these two unstoppable behemoths that have been impossible to beat so far, but that frail old man, he's gotta go.
You make a fine point.
That's a good point. Back to the 2 out of 3 falls match. What I want to see is the Revival, hard fought, take the first fall, second fall, spend it on DQ, and grab chairs, grab weapons, beat the living hell out of DIY for a DQ of the second fall, and then that makes
playing smart baseball right there.
And there's
Sometimes you have to lose one to win.
You play for a tie at home, you play for a win on the road.
and that makes their victory in the third fall that much more handily.
Very good call.
That's if they're able to come back.
Hobo, do you think that DIY is going to win the belts?
Well, I would say it's pretty compelling, because I think DIY versus either TM61 or the Authors of Pain will be great wrestling. I really think that people are looking forward to the possibility of DIY as tag team champions. But whereas the Revival are very hated. People hate them. And I don't think they want to see them wrestle the Authors of Pain or TM61 or a squirrel and a raccoon. I don't think they want to see them wrestle anybody.
Do you think the winners of the Tag Team Classic, because it hasn't been announced yet whether or not that provides a tag team championship opportunity,
They'll get a shot at some point.
I figure that just places them as the top tag team, second to the tag champs. Do you think, depending on who wins the Tag Team Classic, might affect the mindset of the folks in the tag team title match?
Well, it might go on in the reverse order too.
Yeah.
Right. We can't
we
really
don't know.
speculate as to the order right now, though I sort of hope whoever wins the championship match is met in ring by the winners of the Dusty Classic. That I do hope, for that meeting of congrats champ, and I hope we get to see each other very soon.
Or what if the losers of the cup cost whoever might be winning the championships? Like, what if the Authors of Pain lose, and that's a big if, because then big boys, they take out their anger on both teams and cause a disqualification for one of the falls.
The final fall, maybe.
Possibly.
So it goes to literal draw.
Still a draw. Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know.
We'll find out on Saturday.
Happen, because Authors of Pain are really volatile, and they kind of do whatever the heck they want.
Yeah, I think that really anything can happen here. Like, at some point, the Authors of Pain are going to come for the titles, and the Revival probably won't be holding them when that happens.
Yeah.
But you never know. That could be the thing that finally turns Revival face.
Maybe.
But it really all depends. Like I could see Chompy and Gargle losing the match and then going on to the Cruiserweight division.
Yeah, 205 Live.
Right.
Yeah. And the Cruiserweight division, whichever brand it ends up on. And I could also see them, because I could see them losing and then TM61 winning the Dusty Classic and challenging Revival, and maybe TM61's the people to get the belts off of Revival, and then TM61 can have a nice long run as the babyface NXT tag champs that everyone's chasing.
Because they are a real tag
Yeah, they're
team.
great.
I mean, they're
But I can also see, Chompy and Gargle losing it and going to the Cruiserweight division.
I can see that as well.
And then the Authors winning
it's possible.
or whatever.
All right, for our NXT Women's Championship match, we have the returning Mickie James, possibly in a one-night only situation, versus Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship. Does Mickie James have a chance?
She doesn't have a chance to capture the title, but she has a chance to hang with Asuka. because
Better
she's
than a lot of people.
yeah, she's
have.
one of the great. She's one of the legends. She's one of the greatest female wrestlers and most highly acclaimed female wrestlers of the last generation of women's wrestling when they were the divas. So I'm excited for this match because Mickey's going to come back. People have been clamoring to see her in WWE ever since she left. They've been clamoring to see her against these top women wrestlers in the world. So I'm really excited about the match, but I think it's just going to be another example of Asuka proving close, but still no one's ready to hang on my level. She's not going to wreck her. She's not going to be it's not going to be a Deonna Purrazzo situation, but she's gonna. Mickie James will hang with her for a little while, but eventually Asuka will prove just too great a force of nature.
It's been a while since I've seen Mickie James wrestle.
Same here.
So it's hard to really pinpoint what part of her wrestling style will neutralize Asuka's strikes. Or is she going to neutralize her strikes, or is she simply just going to eat them?
Absorb them.
And she hasn't even had time to stalk and single white female.
We don't know
Asuka.
that. What if we get a
Well,
video?
it hasn't been on television.
What
if
if
we
she
get a
comes
video
out in
package?
a
Yeah,
mask?
that'd be cool. Yeah.
It could work.
We get a video package where she's just been following her, traveling around the country.
Just peeking
Yeah.
around
Yeah,
corners.
and we get creepy Mickey back. I just thought of something that could be fun. So there's a rumored women's tournament that's going to be happening maybe
Correct.
first quarter 2017. What if, big if, Mickey wins the championship and then surrenders it, and then the women's championship becomes the prize of the tournament, and they spend the end of the year building towards that tournament.
Be interesting.
I think it's a possibility.
Not
Not a very likely one, but a possibility.
I think it's a more likely possibility that Asuka goes through Mickie James, then goes through maybe another legend before, Ember Moon can really climb those ranks to get to Asuka. And then Asuka once again states, no one here right now can hang with me. So whoever wins this tournament is the person who will get to take me on, because they'll have been tested by fire. They'll have proved themselves as the best.
She will crown herself final boss.
Yeah. They'll have proved themselves as the best non-Asuka wrestler in the world, and then they'll have the right to become the best wrestler.
And then Asuka will be all like, "Welcome to die." And then it's going to be an exciting match either way. I mean, takeovers, regardless of how questionable we may think a match be here or there, they usually do end up pulling it out. Very rarely have we come out of a takeover and gone,
Yeah. That doesn't
Though-
often happen.
Though I would recommend folks, if you want to catch up on our Takeover After shows, our one for last year's finale of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Pretty interesting. You should watch it. But our
I
main
don't
event...
remember it. I got hit in the head a lot.
You did. It's been a year, I think. Our main event, presumably our main event, Samoa Joe challenges Shinsuke Nakamura for the NXT Championship. Gentlemen, does anybody see Samoa Joe coming out with the title?
Nope. But I'm looking forward to the violence these two are going to inflict on each other. I think it's going to be even more hard hitting than the last one, and I'm excited about it. And I would really like Joe to win, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Feels like this needs a stipulation, but
What I think is going to happen is they're going to beat the hell out of each other. The ref's going to call it, and Regal's going to come out and say, no. Let's start this back up. No disqualification. No count out. No this, no that. And then it's going to build to just no rules, just fight. Because we've seen Joe at TakeOver Dallas, the match almost stopped.
yeah.
A lot of times where he's just recklessly bowling through people. And Nakamura
He
is somebody
rides
who
the
can.
line, he really does.
But Nakamura is a guy who can handle it. So I think we might be presented with a situation where they just have to let them beat the hell out of each other, where maybe, just maybe, at the very end, they'll be able to respect each other.
But you know what the best part is?
What's that?
We're going to find it all out on Saturday.
That's right. This Saturday, NXT TakeOver Toronto. Make sure to watch live. You can follow all of us on Twitter. We're going to be live tweeting the event. It's going to be very entertaining, and I'm excited to see what happens. But until Saturday or Sunday, remember we might be doing a Takeover After show on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. Where can everybody online find you? Where can the gentlemen and ladies find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at Sunday Motel. You can check out my writing at uprocks.com, withspandex.com, uprocks.com/sports. Be sure to check out withspandex.com all the time We have great stuff there. Another best and worst WCW Nitro went up today, as it does every WCW Wednesday. And Hobo.
You can find me on Twitter @TrueHobo and Instagram @TrueHobo the same. I started to do the Instagrams again. I don't know why. Pictures,
I like that shirt.
Thanks. You can buy this on NXT.Spreadshirt.com.
That's a fine product. I may just do that if I didn't have one. Maybe I'll get a second. You can follow me on Twitter @Mark Donica. You can follow all of us here at AfterBuzz TV. Make sure to watch Xbox 12360. This week we had Gangrel on. It was so much fun. He had so many great stories to tell. Some you may not believe, but you can.
Gangrel's the best.
But he's the best at telling stories.
Yes.
And then make sure you check out this Monday. We're going to be debuting Making Their Way to the Ring with Lillian Garcia. We haven't announced who our guest is, but it's going to be big. You should be there. Tuesday is the debut of Luchando con Lillian Garcia. If you speak Spanish, you're going to want to tune into that show because we got a pretty big guest
You
planned
should
for that
have
as
said
well.
that part in Spanish.
I said Luchando con Lillian Garcia.
But that's all I understood.
Yeah.
Tell them to watch it in Spanish.
No. So
Get that Rosetta Stone.
I should get that Rosetta Stone, the actual stone, not the computer software. And you can follow, again, follow me at Mark Donica. Remember, if you want to make us in WWE 2K17, and we're going to be giving some stuff away.
Yeah, win prizes.
It's on PS4 and Xbox. Just look for us, look for our designs, and you can win. More details on our Twitters. Use the hashtag NXTeam. But until next time, we'll see you in Toronto.
Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.